It is up to us. We have a choice to take, we have a choice to select. That's our free will, that's what is human form is very important. Only in this human form of life that we can select that choice, we can pick that choice. What we want to become. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 8th chapter, Anta kale chamam eva smaran mukta kalevaram Sapredis the madbhavam sada tadbhavam agadaha anta kale chamameva smaran mukta kalevaram. Whoever at the time of death remembering me alone will attain me. Whoever at the time of death alone will remembering me at the time of death alone will attain me. There is no doubts. Yadi natra etra asamsheha. But also Krishna says that yammam vyavismaran bhavam tejjande kalevaram tam tam evadi kaundeya Sadat yadi natra asamsheha. Sadat tadbhavam agadaha. Yam yam vavismaran bhavam. Whatever the consciousness one person has at the time of death, that's what he is going to become in the next lifetime. That's what he is going to become in the next lifetime. Yam yam vavismaran bhavam. Tyajjande kalevaram. At the time of death, one who leaves the body, whatever the consciousness he has, that's what he is going to become in his next lifetime. So like this, there is repeated birth and death in this world. In this world, that's why it's called Mrityu Lok. Mrityu, death. What is death means? What is Marana means? Going from one form to another form, especially lower species of life. So after this 400,000, 8 million species are like aquatics in the ocean, as a non-moving trees, or in the sky, in the reptile, and on the field reptiles, and under the earth even the worms and the germs and so many types. We can become any one of it. We don't know that after this human form of life that we are going to scroll on the ground next lifetime. You never know. It all depends on what consciousness you develop on this human form of life. And if you miss this human form of life, then we never know. That's why these living entities are mentioned that Nitya Baddhas. Nitya Baddhas means eternally bounded, eternally, conditioned in this world, eternally conditioned in this world. So don't think that we are just the body, but beyond this body, we are spirit soul. We are eternally part of that Supreme Lord. That's why the living entities are different from the material, these non-moving elements. There is moving and non-moving. There is material and spiritual. Spirit and matter. Always these differences are there. In 1969, there is a scientist in Russia. He got a Nobel Prize. His research was, he was trying to find this antimatter. Srila Prabhupada mentioned the beginning of this Bhagavad Gita. His research was, what is this? All this that gives everything, this life to the people. So he come up to a concept that there is an antimatter. Beyond the matter, there is an antimatter. So antimatter is entirely, the characteristics of the antimatter is entirely opposite to the matter. This is nothing but the spiritual nature. So that's why there are so many scientists trying to find out that what is it giving that a life to a person. A living or anything that which moves has a life which is called living. That means there is something within it. So in the Bhagavad Gita, which is revealed that, it's mentioned that there is a spirit soul, Atma. This Atma is part and parcel of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, 7th verse, it reveals that Mamai Vamsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanadana. Mamai Vamsha Jiva, Mamai Vamsha. All living entities are my part and parcel. That's why we can see, we can hear, we can move, we can run, we can eat, we can remember, we can talk, we can digest, we can reproduce, everything. Because of life come from the life. There is no other way. Life only come from the life. If anybody thinks differently or life come from the matter, is the number one fool. Because of that, it's not possible. So this is the fact that we all have to understand. This world is not started just few millions years ago. What happens before? What happens billions of years back? Can anybody say that this world is started from this point onwards? Any scientist can prove that? What was there before? There is nothing that which we can say that matter can neither be created nor destroyed. Even matter can neither be created. We cannot even create the matter. Neither be created nor destroyed. We cannot even destroy the matter. Then what about the spirit? At all. That's why Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, Na jayade mriyade vakatājin nāyam bhūtva bhavitva na bhuyaha ajo nityam shashvadeyam puranam na hanyade hanyamane sharire. This living spirit soul is na jayade, never take birth. Na mriyade, never get dies. Vakatājin nāyam bhūtva bhavita, not in the future, at any point of time. Nayam bhutva bhavitva na bhuyaga. Ajo nityam, it is unborn, nityam, ever existing. Ajo nityam, shashvadeyam puranam, it is everlasting. Puranam, it is the oldest. So dear devotees, this is a fact we all have to understand all the time. We have to put it in our heart. We are part of that supreme spirit. That supreme spirit is called as Param Atma, and that individual spirit soul is called as Atma, and he is known as Paramatma. So this is the relationship between Atma and the Paramatma. This is the relationship. So we are not independent. So this is a fact. What we are? We are not independent. But we think that we are independent. We think that we are the Lord. We are the rulers of this world. But are we the rulers? One breath of that one, if it is not there, we are gone. Sometimes we feel that, when we take something in your hand, if there is no energy, you cannot even move anything. Can you? If you don't have an energy in the body, you cannot even walk. If you don't have energy in your hand, you cannot even walk. You cannot even do anything. If you don't have the energy. And where is that energy come from? So there are lots of things like that, dear devotees. So very, very important fact is that realize this and understand this. That Supreme is also sitting in our heart. That Supreme Lord is sitting in our heart. He is seeing everything. Because of His existence that we exist. Because of His presence, this universe exists. Because of this presence is everything flourishes. Because of His presence is birth taking place. Because of His presence the death is taking place. Because of His presence everything changing in this world called Kala Shakti. So there are so many Shaktis out there. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Parasya Shaktir Vivideva Srujade. Can you take that out? Parasya Shaktir Vivideva Srujade. That supreme potency is manifested in so many ways. Our mind is an energy. Our taste is an energy. Our senses is an energy. Our sight is an energy. Our speech is an energy. Our entire body is functioning because of the energy. But that energy manifested in a form of a human. Similarly, that supreme potency also manifested in the form of a human, or form of a person. That's why we call him Bhagavan, Krishna. We call him human because he has a form. That same potency manifested in so many ways like this. The same energy manifests as in the form of a water. The same energy manifests in the form of this material, this metal. The same energy form manifests in so many, the fruits, the trees, the same energy manifests in the form of the bones, even the body and the soul within the body. The Lord is there in the matter, in the body itself, but also there is individual soul. That is the fact. That's why it's known as Paramatma, and the Jivatma is sitting within the same body. Because of that, Paramatma is not their body, it does not function. And then because of Paramatma, soul, Atma exists in the body. It's all very clear, it's very fact. So all we need to do is just realize it, just understand this. The Lord is right there. Because of the Lord is not there, we cannot even see the light. There is no ability in the eyes, there is no ability in the human, there is no ability in the man or the woman that to perceive anything in this world, because of this is all come from that Lord. That's why Lord is known as Achintya Gunaswarupam. Achintya Gunaswarupam, as inconceivable potency. Inconceivable potency. In so many ways that Lord manifests in this world, but we don't realize it. Why we are not understanding this? Because of our consciousness is completely covered by this ignorance and the darkness. Our consciousness is completely covered by ignorance and the darkness. So only way that we can just remove, just just like a curtain. When there is a curtain, then we don't see the light coming inside. But the moment we remove that curtain, what happened? The light comes in. Similarly, our consciousness is contaminated. Our consciousness is completely covered with this ignorance of this world. So we have to come to the realization and understanding and just remove that curtain. How we can remove that curtain? With the help of the spiritual potency. Only by the spiritual potency we can remove that the material, this contamination. Only by spiritual potency. So how we are, this is just like, when there is, suppose this room, there is no, electricity. Or suppose there is no switch or there is no bulb, it's not lighting. But the moment we come inside, we switch on the light, what happens? It enlightens. Similarly, when we come in contact with the supreme potency of the Krishna, immediately changes everything. It brings the happiness, it brings the enlightenment in our consciousness. This is where now the things are taking place in our consciousness, so that we can develop our relationship with the Lord, develop and realize that our eternal relationship with the Lord. And so that way we can be eternally connected with the Lord, so that we'll be in a safe position. That's why we get this human form, to realize, to come to that understanding. And if we miss this opportunity as a human, then what happens? Then we miss for eternally. We never know that when we are going to get it. Can you imagine a life of a reptile on the ground? Have you seen groundhogs? It's very fearful to come out. Every bird in this world is so fearful. They will little think that they think that what is the dangerous in behind me. We never know that if maybe scrolling on the ground, immediately some another animal come and eat you. Every animal is the food for another animal. So they come and eat you. So dangerous. That's why in this world, every step is very, very dangerous. Padam padam yad vipadam says that. Full of misery, full of distress, unhappiness. And this world is completely devoid of all this. But we think that this is the world that I want to live. Isn't it? This is the world I want to live forever. But we never know when this death is going to come and take us everything. Says that Mrityu Sarva Haraschaham. Death will come and take away everything. You never know. We never know. But this is the fact. We all have to die one day. We all have to die one day. This was the question Yamaraj asked Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yamaraj asked Yudhishthira Maharaj, what is the most surprising things that you see in this world? Yudhishthira Maharaj said, I'm most surprised when the people see that the other person are dying, but he thinks that he is not going to die at all. So their feeling, their attitude like this is most surprising to me. We are going to get old. We are going to get diseases no matter what. When the old age comes, some way or other, we are completely tied to this world. And we have to go with the laws of this nature. Mrityu Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Everything is imminent. It is there. A person take birth, the death is there, imminent it is there. Every day we are getting closer to our, the lifespan. Not that every day we think that we are getting more youthful, but we are getting more closer to our old age. So this is just a little thought of it. So I just wanted to bring these thoughts so that we also can come to our original consciousness, reality. Do you think that this world is real? Or this reality is there? Or the real truth is everything is existing in this world? It says that in the scriptures that this is just a reflection of the reality. The reality is beyond this material. Reality is beyond. This is just a reflection of the original or the reality. The real or real truth or absolute truth or the real truth is nothing but that Supreme Lord. We don't realize or we don't understand it. So this is our misfortune. But by the mercy of the Lord, by the mercy of the devotees, we have this opportunity to bring ourselves more closer to that reality, that truthfulness, the real absolute truth. That absolute truth exists in three forms. Brahmedi Paramatmedi Bhagavanidi Shabdaye. Vadandi Tattat Vidattattum Ekyanam Avayam Brahmedi Paramatmedi Bhagavanidi Shabdaye. That absolute truth, the reality, is exists in three aspects. He is pervaded everywhere. That's called Brahman. He is pervaded in every atom. That's why if you split an atom, that you get this energy, this burns everything. You know that the power of the atomic bomb. When you know that John Oppenheimer, when he was the first one detonated this bomb in Oklahoma or in New Mexico. So he was the first one found out it, and he was experimenting everything. So he was there, he was seeing everything like 2 kilometers behind in a room, in what is happening. This is the first day, first time that he is detonating this bomb, atomic bomb. He never even thought that this would be the power of this bomb. So he made all the arrangements. He detonated this bomb. He could see that the entire arena, the entire, all those, kilometers of the fireballs. Fireballs. You know what Oppenheimer said? I see the death. I see the death. So he quoted Bhagavad Gita. He says, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Mrityu Sarva Haraschaham. Death I am the death. So he can see that complete potency is devouring everything. Just by that fireball, devouring everything. He said, I am the death. So similarly, we can see that in this world, the things are coming in this world and things are also disappearing from this world. Manifesting and manifesting. We are actually in this in this little time in between this manifestation and manifestation, but we think that it's our last day. So we never think about any of these things. So this is our duty. This is our opportunity to connect ourselves to that Supreme. So I said that Brahmedi Paramatmedi Bhagavanidi Shabdaye. Brahman, he is everywhere. He is even an atom. He can see that. We can see him in any form. That's why Krishna says that one who sees me in everything. One who sees me in everything, I never lost to them. This is we should have this understanding. One who sees me in everything. We can see Krishna in everything. Our eyes should be trained accordingly. Then when we see Krishna in the Lord's potency in everything, in everywhere, then he is never lost to the Lord. So Brahmedi Paramatmedi. Paramatma, that same Lord is seated in our heart. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto madhagas smrtir jnanam apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart. Have you ever thought of that, why this heart is beating? Krishna says that I am seated in the heart as like a size of a thumb. The Paramatma is seated in our heart like a size of a thumb. So that's the Lord's. Lord is there. He can see everything. Paramatma is in everybody's in life. Everybody is in everything and is everybody. But individual soul is limited. That's why we are called Atma. But that doesn't mean that we are separate from Him, but we are eternally connected with Him. Every moment when we go away from Him, He sees to that person, that living entity, and says that, oh, I thought that this soul will come to me. But the moment we go away from Him, He is the one who is most disappointing. It's very sad. And you will think that when this soul is going to come back, because of Lord never interfere in the independence of that each living entity. Excuse me. Lord never interfere in the independence of that each living entity, because of everybody has the same nature as the Lord. That's why everybody is trying to become the Lord. Everybody is trying to become the Lord because he has the same nature of the Lord, because we are part of the Lord. When I take a drop of water from the ocean, which has the same quality as an ocean. Similarly, we are tiny part of that Supreme. The little particle of a gold has the same quality of a gold. The devotees, similarly, each and every living entity is the part of the Lord. So we also have the same nature of the Lord. That's why we like to be independent. We like to be Lord in this world. Why? Because we also have the same nature. So quantitatively we are same, different, but qualitatively we are same with that Supreme. Qualitatively we are same. That's why we can speak. Why we can speak? Because Lord can speak. Why we can walk? Because of Lord can walk. So all these qualities are existing in the Lord. That's why we also have the same quality. We can talk because of Lord can talk. We can hear, Lord can hear. This is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. This mentions Srimad Bhagavatam. When the Lord decided to walk, the legs manifested. The Lord decided to hear, the ear or that organ manifested. This is from the Lord. That's why the desire manifests according to the desire, that if you want to become something, all you need to do is just desire it. You will get it. You will become like that. So like if you want to become so rich, if you want to become so rich, I'm giving some tips of, you want to become rich. So if you want to become so rich, just think about the richness, how to become more rich. You will become one day rich, no matter what. So desire makes things possible. So where it's also come from? It's also come from that Supreme Lord. When He desires, things manifest. When He desired to see, the eyes manifested. Srimad Bhagavad explained all this. Then there are predominant deities for it. To control the deities. For our eyes, the controlling deity is sun God in this world. And suppose that you have eyes and there is no sun, there is no light. You cannot see it. So you need that deity of that sun is needed to control your eyesight. But the sun is not there. Sun is there, your eyes are there, but the soul is not there. You cannot do anything. So we are all connected and dependent upon each other in this world. Similarly, the prana which you have, when the prana which comes in, that's why controlling your life. So the prana which controls the deity is Vayu God, the Vayu, the wind God. The wind God manifested from the Lord. When the Lord wanted to breathe, the wind God, the Lord's deity, the potency manifested. That potency is the controlling deity of the controllers of this, all the pranas. The hearing potency, when the Lord desires, the hearing potency, the Lord's potency manifests from the Lord. That is known as the Anala, the wind God, again, another form. When the taste manifested from the Lord, it's manifested on the Lord's, then the deity, the potency manifested, that's called Varuna, the taste. This is also potency of the Lord. This is called controlling deity. It's all manifested from the Lord. Then because of that existence, that's why we have 33 crore various Devadas, but actually they are all the controlling entities in this world. And this is the science, this is the truth. Similarly, the nostrils, the Lord started to breathe. The potency from the Lord is called Ashwini Kumaras manifested in this world. Ashwini Kumaras. So because of the Ashwini Kumara existing that deity, this is called Adhyatmik, Adi Devik and Adi Bhautik. This is a very wonderful relationship. There is a predominant deity called Adi Devik, Deva. Then Adi Bhautik, the elements, the material element manifests in order to function with respect to that deity. Plus Adhyatmik, that spirit soul. If the spirit soul is not there, nothing will work. But the spirit soul is not there, but that deity is not there, not favoring for you, then your function, that function does not work properly. That is called Adi Devik. Then Adi Bhautik, suppose you have eyes, but that deity is not in favor of you, you will have problem with your eyes. That's why we have this very wonderful, wonderful concept of that worshipping the Deva Devadas. Some way or other, because they are the controllers of all our various day-to-day life. From the moon god, we get all the vegetations. If the moon god is not there, we will not eat anything in this world. Because of the sun god, we get all the green leaves. Everything manifests from that. So we call him Surya Narayana. He is the Narayana. It comes from him. So everything comes from the Supreme Lord, but manifested in various ways, and we are also recipient of all that mercy. But we forget all this. So dear devotees, is very, very important. I just bring these thoughts to you so that you can meditate upon it. Because of this is a scientific process. It's not just a mythological. Many times people say that, oh, Hindu mythology. It's not a myth. If you understand, if you study carefully, you can connect everything to this world. Even all this scientists brought all these various concepts from this is our Sanatana Dharma, the scriptures. Bhagavad explains everything so nicely. Thousands of years ago, and our scriptures reveal that the earth is a globe. But on the other hand, in the Western world, 400 years ago, when Galileo said that the earth is round, and everybody burned him alive. Everybody burned him alive. This is the fact. But thousands of years ago, our scriptures, Bhagavad explains that earth is a globe. And how it is possible, how it is mentioned that? When the earth was slipped from this orbit, okay? Twice earth slipped from this orbit. Can you imagine? It is possible. Even the meteors, everything comes, depends, it can slip from this orbit. And it went away from this actual orbit, the earth, Mother Earth. Who appeared to rescue Mother Earth? Anybody? Who appeared to rescue Mother Earth? Varahadev. Varahadev appeared, and why Varahadev appeared like that? Because of Varahadev has a tusk like this. So the globe can fit very properly on the tusk. Lord took that form. And if you look at our astrology, thousands years ago, 5,000, 6,000 years ago, Aryabhatta, who was calculating, was studying everything, all about this nature. We know that we sent a rocket in the name of Aryabhatta, the great mathematician. The first rocket, Aryabhatta.
First satellite. Yeah.
Yes. Why? Because of you have studied this entire, and think about that. This was already mentioned. Astrology was the great, one of these Upa Ankas of our scriptures, of our Puranas and Upanishads in astrology. And this was how many years ago? Thousands of years ago. And then what happened? And so many, even the sages, they could see that. Even Bhagavad explains that we have a pole star. Have you heard that? The pole star? Dhruv. What is that pole star? Dhruv. What is the meaning of Dhruv? What is the meaning of Dhruv?
Pole. Around that everything.
No, what is the literal meaning of Dhruv?
Axis, right?
No. Steady. Constant. And even scientists recently came up that yes, this pole star is very constant. This is static, doesn't move. It doesn't move. Our Bhagavad, if you read at the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavad, you can see everything is clear mentioned there. All the other stars are revolving on that one particular pole star which is static. Everything else is revolving to that one. All the other stars. That's why this pole, Dhruv, this is called Dhruva Nakshatra. It is thousands of years ago, our sages understood that this doesn't move, this doesn't, static doesn't move. It is there. And our scriptures reveals that this is the abode of the Lord in this material universe. And what is that abode of the Lord? Which Lord resides there?
Shirodakshaya.
Shiro Dakshaya Vishnu. This is called milk ocean, Shira. This is milk ocean. This is the Lord's place in this world. Lord resides there. When the Brahma and the demigod has some problem, where they reach? Where they go? They go to this Shira Sagar or Shiro Dakshaya Vishnu. They go to the boundary of it. And who got the entrance to that abode? Who got the entrance?
Maharaj Dhruv.
Maharaj Dhruv. Dhruv got the entrance to that abode. There are so many other worlds. And if you look at the history of everything, we can see that even some point of time, even the aliens comes to this world. It's not a myth. It's not, don't think that, it's just like somebody brought up like that. Many things was manifested. That's why we have a relationship between, in the Ramayana, it is mentioned that Dasharatha Maharaj he could go to the heavenly planets from here. Arjuna went to the heavenly planets. It's not just a mythological story. One could go. And even sages, they have this potency to control their breath and they can attain this mystic siddhis. It's called Ashta Siddhi, Ashta Yoga Siddhi. And he can fly from one place to another. That's yoga. And this is very real. We know that in the Yoga Sutra, this Yogananda Paramahamsa, a spiritual master. It is called the Baba. I forgot the name of
His Guru Maharaj.
the great Guru, that who was already
Mahavatar Baba.
Mahavatar Baba. It is almost like 2000 years ago, AD 52. Because of this spiritual potency, because of this mystic potency, he could diminish himself and he still lives. In AD 52, almost 2000 years ago. And he sometimes or periodically, whoever is so connected, who is so, he gives the darshan to that person. And like that, there are so many people in the lineage, I forgot all this. And this is the book called The Autobiography of a Yogi. It's called Yogananda Paramahamsa. He was mentioning this one. He's mentioning very clearly that he could see, and he's that person, that Guru manifests in front of him and tell everything to that person, because they come to that stage of using a technique called the Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga is nothing but the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Kriya Yoga is nothing but the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Dhyana Yoga. If you practice that very clearly, you also can attain that kind of potency, that kind of power, mystic power. So devotees, this is not just a mythology, this is a science. This is a complete science. How one can control this life, control this body, control the spirit soul, and when you bring this also various potency from the bottom point, and you know that Kundalini Shakti, and many people have that capability to awaken the Kundalini, the Shakti. And if you bring that, this is a various mystic process and the yogas. It's all possible. Everything is possible. But in this age of Kali, it's very difficult. We cannot go to the forest, and the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in the beginning of the 6th chapter, one should go to the forest, one should completely yama and niyama, and should practice. Ashtanga Yoga or Ashta Siddhi is actually one should practice. The first and the foremost thing is yama and the niyama. What is yama? There are 5 yamas that which we supposed to follow. Yama. And the niyamas. So like this yama, that is what it is, the non-violence. One should be completely non-violent. One should be truthful. One should be asteya. That means, asteya means that there is no proprietorship that I have anything in this world. Then one should completely follow the brahmacharya. Then aparigraha. Aparigraha means one should not have any kinds of ownership in this world. So this way we have to lead our life. This is called yamas. What is niyamas? Shauja, santosha, should be always clean. You should have santosha, it should be happiness. You should be always happy. Then you should swadhyaya, you should always read and learn the scriptures. Then you should have worship. Then you should worship the Lord. So like this, there are yamas and niyamas. One should strictly follow this one. Then what happens? Then you have to practice this yama niyama asanas. You have to have certain sitting posture so that you can bring your air, we can control your body very properly. This is in the Ashtanga Yoga processes. Unless and until you do that, you cannot control your breath. You will not be tired. Then it's called pranayama. What is pranayama? As I mentioned that prana. Prana means the life air which goes inside the body. There are 5 kinds of prana, five kinds of air. Nowhere in the science or the modern science can detect this or can tell this. In our scriptures which reveals all this, which is called the 5 kinds of pranas, that's what you called prana, which goes inside is called prana. Prana means which goes upward. Then samana means the prana which goes entire your body. Suppose if you control your prana in your body, then you have such a potential, you can develop that potency. Prana means which goes in that which you breathe in. Let's say prana vayu is gone when a person dies, but still there is prana is there in his life. So prana which goes in the prana, then apana which goes upward, then samana which goes all there the body. That's why you get this energy. When you breathe, control your breath, you get some energy. Why it goes all over the body. And how this prana passes through the body, various nadis of the body, in the body. Energy spots. There are 3000 plus nadis are there in the body. Then there is a prana called udana. Udana is the prana which goes to the stomach and which digests the food. But that Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva. Agam Vaishwanara means that the air, that potency that I am in your stomach, that's what is digesting your food. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva, his name is Vaishwanara, that the fire which is inside the stomach. And there that potency which all relates that is called Udana, which control digest of food. Then Vyana, that means the lower part of the body. So this is the technique of it. And many times people give this technique that if you have the control of your breath properly, and if it goes to the body completely, that's what is this the main reason for this all the pranayama. Pranayama means that energy that sometimes what happens, our breath, air does not flow to the complete body. So some part of the body never gets this oxygen properly, this prana properly, so that if you breathe properly, then it goes to that way. Says that when the pranayama one should hold the breath and hold it, inhale and inhale and then exhale, and then you hold it so that the oxygen and the prana goes to all over the body. Then all the body will function properly. This is the technique of pranayama. How many of you do? Anybody does pranayama here? Yeah, few people does the pranayama. It's very good. It's completely energize our body, balance your body, and then that's why this is the main reason that there are 3 aspects: Vada, Pitta, Kapha. In the Ayurvedic, the Vada, Pitta, and Kapha, this balances in your body. Then you'll have a very strong body if you do this pranayama. So many diseases, ailments can be cured as well, like asthma, so many things. And even it says that even the heart attacks can be prevented if you do the proper pranayama, because of you can breathe, you can put that energy through. And this is the technique anyway. All the yoga technique is nothing but control your prana, control within your body. Then what happens? This way you control, then pranayama you can control properly. Then you come to the pratyahara. That means now you are eating and everything inside the body, now everything is controlled. Pratyahara, don't take all the intakes which you goes into the body, then now you can be controlled. Pratyahara, now you control that whatever you intake. Now you get it, now you eat whatever you get it. It's not like that. Then what happens? Then dharana, then you come to the real understanding of it. Dharana, proper understanding, proper relationship. Now only it really kicks in your mind that I am this, I am that, I am connected to the Lord. Now it reveals that entire world to you. Then we come to that dhyana. Then only we can really properly meditate upon the Supreme Lord. Now we know that even if we try to sit for meditation for 5 minutes, you cannot even meditate for 5 minutes. Our mind goes all the directions. Why? Because we don't have that properly we are not trained our body. Dhyana. Then only we come to that our real samadhi, real relationship and connection with the Lord. So when you do this one, what happens? Then only that we can control, we can do so many things. So I was mentioning about this one, because of this yoga processes we can control. But actually it's not possible in this world, in this lifetime. And it's very difficult. That's why Krishna says in the 6th chapter, the Dhyana Yoga, and this is all mentioned that one should go to the forest, sit there, celibate, and don't do anything, don't attach, don't speak anything like that. You practice this for some thousand. You do not sit for a lower, you should sit an higher seat. And so many things mentioned that. This is nothing but a great. But people could do this. It was a scientific process. And people could come out from their body. And I met a person like that. He said he could do that. He could come out from his body. And we know that when Krishna was in Sandipani Muni's ashrama, Krishna was coming out from the body through the yoga processes. And like that, there are yogis. So as I mentioned that Mahavatar Baba, he could do this. There are so many people out there. They could do.
Adi Guru
Shankaracharya, he entered in another king's body. He could do that. So this is all real truth, this all scientific truth. It's not that anything that which, because of this, who has seen this one? All our great acharyas and the sages, they seen this truth completely. And they brought up, they saw that the position of all the planets. And they didn't plan, they didn't go, because of they have this yogic siddhi, they could see the things beyond. That's why great personalities, they could see things beyond. So, summum bonum of all this, summum total of all this, dear devotees, realize this and understand this. We are not just simply this body. We have eternal, we are part, and eternally we have a relationship with that Supreme Lord. All we need to do, don't waste this human form of life. But then if we waste it, we never know that when we are going to get back it. So that's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 40th verse. Anybody knows this verse? 2nd chapter, 40th verse. Neha vikramanasosthi pratyavayo na vidyade solpam abhyasya dharmasya trayado mahado bhayan. Neha vikramanasosthi pratyavayo na vidyade solpam abhyasya dharmasya. Even if you practice little bit in this human form of life, some way or other that we connect to that Supreme Lord, then our life will be saved. Mrityu means that we fall down from this human form of life to very other lower species of life. But the moment we some way or other in this human form of life, we have this relationship, we connect. That's called yoga. Yoga means to connect. What is the meaning of yoga? It's come from the root word called yuj. Yuj means to connect. So our eternal identity, our eternal existence, our perfection of life is nothing but to connect ourselves to that Supreme. We can do that. But we don't need to go to the forest. We don't need to take the year-long, the fasting. You know that when Ravana went to, do all the fasting, or Kumbhakarna, or Hiranyakashipu went into the Himalayas, what did they do? Did they eat every day? No. All 60,000 years, they didn't eat anything. We don't need to do that. You can eat as much as you want.
We are not surviving without one day.
Yes, you can eat as much as you want. No problem. But you don't need to do go to the forest, nothing, but you are sitting here itself. In this age of Kali, there is a very one good quality. Who said this one in Srimad Bhagavatam? Who said this one? Said that there is a one good quality in this age of Kali. Sukadeva Goswami told to Parishit Maharaj. What was this Sukadeva Goswami told? Kalir doshe nidan rajan ashti egohi mahan guna kirtanat asya krishnasya mukta sangam param vrajed. Sukadeva Goswami explaining to Parishit Maharaj in 5,000 years ago, mentioned to Parishit Maharaj like this: "O Parishit Maharaj, O Rajan, O King, Kalir doshe nidan rajan." Kali is full of faults and the misery. distress, unhappiness, quarrel and hypocrisy. Kalir doshe nidan rajan, but ashti ekoghi mahan guna, there is one great quality. What is that great quality? Kirtana asya krishnasya. That's all we need to do. Kirtanadasya krishnasya mukta sangam param prajet. What is that? Mukta sangam param prajet. One will attain that param vraja. We have this earthly vraja, we know that Vrindavan. But param vraja, the supreme Goloka Vrindavan, one can attain, one can associate with the supreme mukta sangam, one can liberate himself from these material cultures, entanglement, repeated cycle of birth and death, this samsara chakra. From this one can attain that the supreme abode, supreme Lord. Mukta sangam varam prajet. How? How one can attain that? Kirtanadasya krishnasya. So in this age of Kali, that's the most important aspect, most important dharma of this age of Kali is what? Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Nama iva kevalam. Kalau nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gadaranyada. There is no other way in this age of Kali. All we need to do, just execute, just chant this holy name, Kirtana. We call it as Sankirtana. When everybody comes together and chant, it's called Sankirtan. When you do it alone, it's called Japa. When you with the people, it's called Kirtan. With a musical instrument going out, it's called Sankirtan or Kirtan. When you do it, you do it alone, which is called Japa. Neither of the way. All you need to do is nothing but to take this holy name. Just take the name of Krishna, because of in this age of Kali or any time, if you take that the Supreme Lord's name, his name is non-different from his original Rupa. Kaligala Nama Rupe Krishna Avadar. Mentioned, revealed in the scripture. What is that? Kaligala Nama Rupe. What is? Krishna Avadar. What does that mean? Kaligala Nama Rupe Krishna Avadar. What is that? Everybody, I think everybody is sleeping. Or is it time for the lunch? Okay, no, still time. Okay, sorry, it's dinner, sorry. I'm still on the noon time. So okay. Kaligala, Namarupe, Krishna, Avadar. What does that mean? Krishna is not different in his holy name. Kaligala, in this age of Kali, Krishna is manifested in his form, in his name, everything in his holy name. Kali Kala Nama Rupe, Krishna Avatar. Krishna is manifested in holy name in this age of Kali. And that holy name in the Bhagavad explains that Nama Chindamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Purna Chaitanya Charitamrita, it explains Nama Chindamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Bhinnatvam Abhinnatvam Nama Namino. What does that mean? Nama Chindamani Krishna. Nama, that holy name, is Chindamani, which will give you everything. Chindamani means one that in Chindamani touches with the, any iron. Chindamani is there. If we touch that to the iron or any steel, it will become gold. This is the potency of Chindamani. So Nama is like a Chindamani. So whomever takes this holy name, what happens? It can transform everything to the purity, in the pure, in a spiritual potency. Nama Chindamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Chaitanya means what? Full of potency. Chaitanya, Chit, Chaitanya. Rasa, full of mellows. Vigraha, it has a form. Vigraha. Why we are called, the deity is called Vigraha? It has life, it has form. Don't think that deity is just like a stone. I'll give you one example. How many of you in Jaipur, in the Radha Gopinath temple? How many of you have been visited, or how many of you there in Jaipur, Radha Gopinath temple? We there? Have you noticed anything there? A very special deity there?
It has a watch.
It has a watch. The deity has a wristwatch like this. Okay? So anybody knows that? Why the Lord has a wristwatch on his right hand? Is on the right hand. Anybody knows why the Lord has a wristwatch, deity has a wristwatch on his right hand? Yes. So what happened? Around like 40 or 50 years ago, it's not that far anyway, okay? There was one Englishman, it was just before the India independence, because before the independence. So there was a great person, great Englishman. He was very good with the front of the Raja Mansingh in Jaipur. Raja Mansingh was a great devotee of the Lord. They were friends. So the Englishmen come, and every time comes. Now all the time, whenever he comes, this Raja is always there in the deity room, worshipping the deity. And he was waiting and waiting and waiting there in front. And this Raja who was inside, once he goes inside, he talks to the deity, he does serve everything, he worships the deity, he offers everything, he does everything so nicely. He was waiting and waiting and waiting, and one time this Raja, this devotee came out, and then they were friends, this Englishman, and he said, "What are you doing there? Why are you wasting the time inside? You are offering everything, you are offering the food. Are you a fool? Like a modern people ask for it. You are offering the food to a deity which is a stone, and he's going to eat, and you think that he's going to eat like this?" The Raja said that my deity is not like, my Lord is not like that. He's full of life. He can eat whatever I offer. He can see, he can hear what I say. This Englishman, what nonsense you are talking. Okay, let me find out. So you are doing this every day. Okay, let me see what is going to happen. So that's the time the wristwatch, they just started to, in English, British, they started to, create this wristwatch. So he had this wristwatch. So only the wristwatch is that as soon as you put it in your hand, then only start to work. Otherwise it doesn't work. If you take out the wristwatch and keep it somewhere, it doesn't work. Because of it needs a pulse, it needs that the heat, and then based on that it works. That's called wristwatch. Right?
Yes.
So like this. So then this Englishman removed his watch and gave to this Raja and said that, okay, you said that this Lord has life. Lord has everything. So Lord receives everything. It's like Prahlad Maharaj said that my Lord is in the pillar. The Lord manifested. So here the Raja gave this watch, the Englishman gave the watch to the Raja. And then, okay, show me that your Lord has life in it and he receives everything, he eats everything. Let me see. So I'll come after 3 days. You tie this watch to the Lord, and immediately the Raja, this devotee, took the watch and tied to the deity. And he was watching, the watch is still running. So after 3 days, this Englishman came and he wanted to see that how the watch, condition of the watch. The watch is still running. Watch is still running. He thought, what is this? He was also bewildered a little bit. And then after 3 days again he came back. Wanted to see that they were doing some trick or something. He wanted to see, appointed a person, nobody is removing anything. So then he came after 3 days. 6 days after that came again, the watch is still running. No issues, no problem. He completely believed that. Still that watch is still running. Only time Pujari mentioned that, the people, if you go and ask to the Pujari mentioned that whenever at the time of when I clean the deity, remove the dress of the deity, then I remove the watch, that time it doesn't work. At the moment you tie this watch to the Lord on the deity, the watch works. Still it is there. If you check into the internet, you can see this deity. I'm not making up.
Which duty you said?
Radha Gopinath.
Radha Govind.
Radha Gopinath. Radha Gopinath originally came from Vrindavan.
From this one, Vrindavan, right?
So this was actually carved out from the who? The Vajranabh. Right? Vajranabh.
Great
grandson of the Lord Krishna. 3 deities carved the Vajranabh. One of the Radha Govinda Dev, Radha Gopinath, and then Radha Madan Mohan. These are the deities. We know that the story of Madan Mohan. When the Advaita Acharya came, Advaita Acharya was worshipping the deity of Radha Madan Mohan. Then deity that Advaita Acharya gave to a devotee called Chaube. When Sanatana Goswami came to Chaube's house, this deity was playing with the children. So the deities, how do we worship? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ye yadamam prabadhyante stam tadeva bhajameham mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaga. You see this? You see that?
Very handsome.
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw that? Yeah.
Yeah, with the watch. Yeah.
With the watch, yeah?
Yeah.
You can show to everyone.
Very
So it's there, right? See that one? The watch?
So that's
With the Radha Gopinath in Jaipur. Whomever goes to there, you just visit. This is the Lord, dear devotees. Not always. And there are so many examples out there how Lord reciprocates to each other. It's not just simply somebody making up things like that. Devotees experience this every day. Devotees talk to the Lord. So that's why Krishna is everywhere, no matter what. All we need to do have that the faith.
The courts also recognize the
Yes.
legal status, right? Because the deity is the legal owner of all
Exactly.
the property, right?
And this is our law, Indian law.
Indian law, yeah.
Indian law is actually every property of the temple is the owner is the Lord. He is the legal owner. That's why any property which we say is called Deva Swam. Nothing is there. In India or in any other temple, every day people goes to the worship with whatever the money, they get it, they offer, they come to before the lordships and deity, they talk to the Lord that this is what is the collection today and this is what is the expenditure. Every day this is still going on.
Even in the Ram Janmabhoomi case, one of the parties was Ram Lala deity. Actually.
Yes,
The three
deity,
parties.
yes.
One-
Exactly. The devotees, this is not just a, somebody made up. This is thousands of, since time immemorial. And everything is so clearly explained in our scriptures. And that's called this life, this is cyclical processes, this entire world. Brahma's one day, that's where the Krishna Lord manifest. One day of Brahma, how many is the one day of Brahma? How many millions of years? 8.64 billions of years is the one day of Brahma. And how many days Brahma lives?
100 years.
100 years. What is that 100 years? 100 years is how many?
311 trillion.
311 trillion and 40 billion. Where else is calculated all this so accurately and correctly like this? Which scriptures? Nowhere. We should completely understand this and realize this fact. So this helps us, dear devotees. That's why we have this opportunity to realize this. Where is our root? Everybody is nowadays very, very fond of finding their root. Right? Have you heard this one? They wanted to see, there are some genome, there are some techniques, and if you put, there are some software developed, and if you put all your information, then you can find out that where is your root. Maybe somebody in China or somebody in Japan. Who knows? And because of the genome, right? The technology, because of you come from that root. We never know where is our original root. Now a lot of people are very much fond of it. To find their root, where they, many people put their stories.
That's through saliva and everything, not like online.
Yeah, they can because of the software developed. It's an app developed. So you can put through and then you can find out where is your root, where did you actually come from.
Especially the kids.
But nobody called that, the mic came from the monkey. So far nobody found that. They still found out that some pairs, some humans, the history is there like that.
Isn't what Gotra tells us?
Exactly.
Exactly.
We know
That's
we
true.
came from which rishi.
Which Gotra? And who is that Gotra? Where is that Rishi came from? The Lord's. This is lineage of them. That's why we are all called Achyuta Gotra. We are all come from where? What is our root? Krishna. Krishna is our root anyway. Where Krishna says this word in Bhagavad Gita, I am the root. Anybody? 15th chapter, first verse. Urdhamulam adashwagham ashwatham prahumogeyam. Urdhamulam, root is upward. All our root is upward, not here, not from the monkey. It's very clear. So all we need to do, dear devotees, just realize and understand a little bit, just have a little thought on it. So this way, we can always be in Krishna conscious. Only by Krishna conscious, that's the highest of all the human. The only way this Krishna consciousness is that we can exit from this material world and attain that supreme abode, our original eternal nature. We have three bodies. How many of you know that we have three types of bodies? We have three types of bodies. Anybody? Gross body, subtle body, and spirit body, spiritual body. What is that gross body known as? Sthula Sharira. In Sanskrit. How beautiful it is. When it was written, this Sanskrit originally, what is Sanskrit even called? Devanagari Lipi. Devanagari. It's called Devanagari or Devanagari. Nagara means sanskar. Sanskrit, sanskar. That's why sanskar, the word comes from Sanskrit, is that our original nature. This what is original nature of our language. Our everything is come from what is that? Sanskrit or sanskar. All this come from that. And also English all came after that. What is the English called? What is in the root word English mean by? It's called, anybody? If you take Webster's dictionary, the first word of how this root word, any children? Any kids? Eh? Anybody? The root word English come from angel-ish. That's word is called English. What is that? Angel-ish. When you look at the Deva Nagari or angel-ish, it's all related anyway. So root of the communication, all the language, the root mother of all the communication, all the language is nothing but the Sanskrit in one sense. So where it's manifested from? From the higher beings, our consciousness. That is so rich in so many ways. And that's what is our original nature. That was the original culture, which was completely revealed in everything. It's so wonderful. Krishna says a very beautiful word in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Natad bhasayado surya. Surya is another word. Bhasa, surya means, bhasa means light. Sometimes we say this word called abhas. Have you heard this word abhas?
Yeah.
Abhas means there is no light. Bhas means that Sri Krishna Lord Surya is known as Bhaskara. Surya's another name is known as Bhaskar. Why Bhaskar? Because he gives the light. So light means bhas. And we say abhas means there is no light. Sometimes we call nama abhas. What is nama abhas? When you chant the holy name, but there is no light in it, there is no meaning in it. You just do it. Bhakti abhas, there is no meaning for it. Bhakti is there, namesake, but there is no content in it. Abhas, there is no surya, there is no enlightenment. So how beautiful it is. Just the simple word called bhas, and that simple word in Sanskrit is transformed into so many other, connected to so many other ways. There is last Sunday, there was a beautiful lecture known as, it's called man, it's pride. If you take this little word man, this pride, there is then another word came up, it's called abhiman. Right? It's called abhiman. What is the meaning of abhiman?
Arrogance.
Self-pride or self-prestige, or we can call it as. Then again on the compound word of it, man, abhiman, then it's called swa-abhiman. See, the three words come in. So this is the greatness of our original root language. Then atma abhiman, swadeshabhiman, deshabhimani, so many words. Right? Everything is connected to that just one root word called man. And in Bhagavad Gita, in Leela, Krishna Leela, who is giving that man? All the gopis and Radharani, they are giving this man. There are so many varieties of. So this is the way that our scriptures reveal to it. So beautiful, so wonderful. So all we need to do is the devotee is just nothing but just take that the faith in that Supreme Lord, some way or other connected to Krishna, and especially as I mentioned that in this age of Kali Doshe. All we need to take is actually some way or other connect to that Supreme. It is not that even that Krishna is that Supreme is a person. Okay, he is known as Param Brahman. I mentioned about the Brahman, but he is known as Param Brahman. Beyond this Brahman, beyond the Brahman, who is that beyond the Brahman? Who is that? Bhagavan. It's called Param Brahman. That's why Arjuna addressing to Krishna, Param Brahm, Param Dham, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shashudam, Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Bhivu. Param Brahm, you are the Param Brahman. You are the Supreme. Param Brahm, Param Dham, you are the ultimate abode. Param Brahm, Param Dham, Pavitram, you are the most sacred. Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, you are the original Supreme Being. Purusham, you are person. Purusham, Shashwadam, you are ever existing. Divyam, you are divine. Adi Devam, you are the original Lord. Ajam Vibhum, unborn and ever existing. So this is the understanding one should have about that Supreme. And then we should take that the holy name. Nama Chindamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddham. one can completely purify just by taking this holy name. Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukto. He will be ever liberated. He will be ever liberated just by taking this holy name from this world. Purna Shuddham Nitya Mukto Bhinnatvam Abhinnatvam Namanamino. There is no difference between holy name and Krishna. Kaligala Namarube Krishna Avadar is called Nama Purusha. It's called Nama Purusha. Kaligala Namarube. That's why this holy name is, that's why one take up this holy name, he developed the taste of the holy name. Because of he will enter into the pastimes of the holy name. He will enter with Krishna's pastimes. He will taste, he will develop that taste for the holy name. That's why it's mentioned that it says that Madhuram Madhurebhyo Bhyagam Mangalanam cha Mangalam Pavanebhyo Pavanebhyam Harir Namayva Kevalam. It's the most purifying, most auspicious, and it is ever that Madhuram Madhurebhyo. There is no more sweeter than this holy name in this world. One can experience all this, dear devotees. All we need to do, just take up this holy name in this age of Kali. And what is that holy name? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody loudly, one more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Dear devotees, if you take up this holy name, this is the dharma of this age. Chanting the holy name. Every yuga has a yuga dharma. So Kali Kala, the yuga dharma is chanting the holy name. You don't need to do so many other things. All you need to do, take up this holy name, chant, whenever you get some time. Take up this holy name, and if you don't have this bead, we have this tulasi beads, but you can take any of the beads and you started to chant the holy name every day. When you get 5 minutes, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, when you get up in the morning, the devotees, it will save you. As Krishna says that, this Neha Vikramana Sosti Pratyavayona Vidyade Solpam Avyasya Dharmasya Trayado Mahado Bhayan. It will relieve you from the greatest danger. What is the greatest danger in this world? Anybody? Greatest danger. Yes, if you don't have a human birth again in this world for you, that's the greatest danger that ever you can have. We never know when you are going to have this human form of life. So that Trayado Mahado Bhayan, if you take little bit of this one, you will be saved from that greatest danger, that you will attain again a human birth. As Krishna says that you can then progress further. You can develop this further and eternally liberate ourselves from this material entanglement and go back to Krishna, go back to Godhead. Thank you so much. With this note, I would end here. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.